I can't place an international call. It's too expensive. How about I send you some International Beach Boys CDs? Hello? Well, that's his loss. So last time we talked a little bit about Sounds of Summer, a release that speaks for itself. Perhaps the most important and the most recognized of all the American Greatest Hits packages. Now that can be debated, of course, but certainly this is one that helped get a whole new generation into the group's music. I don't know for sure if Europe or Australia or South America or anywhere else actually got that release. I think at least some of them got EMI's 3-disc set, Sounds of Summer, the Platinum Collection, or should I say the Platinum Collection Sounds of Summer Edition. I just call it Sounds of Summer Platinum. Got this 3-disc set instead. And this is so bizarre that I think it's almost worth looking at by itself. As opposed to trying to tack this on to the end of the last one, why don't we take a look at the thing in greater detail this time. Now it should be noted that when it comes to albums, studio albums, the Beach Boys aren't like the Beatles or the Rolling Stones, where there are different albums between the US and Europe with different track lists and exclusive titles and different artwork and so on. The Beach Boys basically had the same albums released worldwide, sometimes in a different order. Like, for example, the UK would have gotten albums from the mid-60s before the Beach Boys' really early stuff, but for the most part the discography is the same. There are a few exceptions to how the songs are presented. Here's a UK Summer in Paradise, using alternate mixes. Sorry for all the traffic outside. It's a little bit different. And there are other albums like Live in London, which were released in the US much later than in Europe and so on. But really the only big discography difference comes in the hits packages. We've talked about this before. There are hits packages that are basically the same, or the same in appearance, as the US originals. Hits packages from Australia or different parts of Europe. But they have songs that are maybe more relevant or more recognized by that native country. So going as far back as 1966, we already start to see differences in what different nations perceive as hits or what they want on their hits packages. And I think in a way Sounds of Summer Platinum takes this to maybe its logical conclusion by basically crafting a whole new set. They didn't just look at the charting singles and kind of winnow it down to a couple discs or whatever, or a couple records I should say, or one disc. They decide, let's go whole hog, make something really interesting. So let's start with disc 1. That's the reddish colored one there. On disc 1 we've got I Get Around, Don't Worry Baby, Surfin' USA, In My Room, Little Deuce Coupe, Surfer Girl, Fun Fun Fun, When I Grew Up to Be a Man, Girls on the Beach All Summer Long, Wendy, Dance Dance Dance, Be True to Your School, Warmth of the Sun, Little Honda, Surfin', Surfin' Safari, Do You Wanna Dance, Please Let Me Wonder, and Then I Kissed Her. All of these are on at least one American hits package that we've talked about. Some of them, like Surfin', only pop up once, or Girls on the Beach only pops up once, but they're all pretty recognizable. It should be noted, of course, that the order is not chronological, like many other UK releases are, but again, some of those songs are out of order because UK fans or Australian fans would have gotten them out of order in the first place. Really a lot of the early stuff here, nothing too wild and crazy. I should also note before we go too much further, the liner notes are in this booklet. They are the same as the US version by Anthony DeCurtis. So if you want to see the notes, what they look like in greater detail, just watch the last video. But it's the same booklet here. Granted, of course, the track information is updated for the new songs. But you can see already, not the same as the US release, but certainly very recognizable ones. And a few that were on the US ones that we don't see here, like Shutdown, pops up. So pretty interesting. Disc 2, we start to go into a little bit different territory. We have Good Vibrations, California Girls, Sloop John B., Barbara Ann, God only knows, wouldn't it be nice, you still believe in me, the little girl I once knew, Caroline, no, you're so good to me, girl, don't tell me, help me, Rhonda, heroes and villains, wild honey, darlin', friends, bluebirds over the mountain, breakaway, and Beach Boys medley. We've never seen You Still Believe in Me on a hits package, but we've seen all the others on American hits packages. Now granted, in the late 60s and early 70s, the Beach Boys were much more popular in Europe and worldwide than they were in the US. A lot of these songs were very successful there. Breakaway, Bluebirds Over the Mountain, and whatnot were all huge hits. So definitely there was a need to include them here, even though American audiences might not know them as well. If you look at other popular hits packages from different parts of the world, we start to see more of these songs. You know, I think Breakaway's on both of these. Is it on this one? Yeah, it is. So we're already seeing more of a cultural shift with this release. Again, though, if you have a lot of US hits packages, You Still Believe in Me is really probably the only song that maybe you wouldn't have if you just bought Beach Boys hits packages. But because it's on Pet Sounds, it's definitely recognizable. And then disc 3, or actually I guess I should add, we do see our old friend from the promo of Sounds of Summer. We see Beach Boys medley make an appearance. So if you didn't get out and buy that sampler CD, that was okay. Just order this. I got mine on Amazon US, so they must have either sold it in the US or at least had access to it. And you can have Beach Boys medley on CD. Alright, lastly, we have our third disc. That's the bright yellow one here. And this is where we have really kind of the black sheep. We have the ones that are unusual, that you might really only see here, that you won't find too many other places. So, Do It Again, Cotton Fields, I Can Hear Music, Tears in the Morning, Sail on Sailor, Disney Girls, Long Promised Road, Forever, Surf's Up, Till I Die, Marcella, Student Demonstration Time, Lady Linda, California Saga, Sumahama, Rock and Roll Music, Here Comes the Night, that's the disco single version, Kokomo, Wipeout, California Dreamin', and Fun Fun Fun. So we see two collabs. We see our old friend Wipeout, which remember it had been a big hit in the US, but an even bigger one in the UK, going all the way to number 2. So we see that. We also see their collab with Status Quo for Fun Fun Fun. They did kind of an updated rocker with an extra verse that Mike Love sings. Interesting stuff. A lot of people don't like it, and it brings this collection into the 90s, which the American version did not do. We're not going to see any Summer in Paradise songs, unfortunately. We see California Dreamin', which was a big hit, of course, or at least a moderate hit in the mid-80s there. So Disco Here Comes the Night, a shortened version, makes an appearance here. That was actually relatively successful in the US, but it's kind of been buried by time, I think. A lot of people disowned that one. Sumahama pops up here. We've seen that on other European hits packages there. So that one's not too far out of the realm of possibility. Lady Linda was a massive hit in the UK especially, and so it's good to see it here, because that's one too that kind of falls through the cracks. It's been on like 10 Years of Harmony and some American stuff, but really nice to see it here. Student Demonstration Time was actually a charting single in parts of Europe. Steve Lewis of the Beach Boys Basement once told me the reason why that is, you can enjoy the song if you don't understand the lyrics. So, I don't know. Figure that one out. That's another song that's kind of been buried by time, I think. See some Surf's Up and Sunflower stuff, quite a bit of it actually, more than we'd see on many American releases. And of course, remember, Cotton Fields, a huge hit in everywhere but the United States, so makes sense. So it's a pretty solid collection all told. Do you have any European or Australian or any kind of greatest hits package that is not native to your land? Please do comment below with some of your thoughts, and not only on that, but also on some of the quirkier additions here. And until next time, when I talk about being laid in Hawaii like the Beach Boys were, have a good one, my friends. Go out there and enjoy the sunshine. Thank you.